who was asking the musician James was asking them, who was asking him, you have the money, you have everything. When are you getting married? Until this time, they're still composed due to the pressure of society, pressuring him to get married. He made a song.
They're having a very nice lunch at a 5-star hotel, and you take a picture, you post it, and taking lunch at Ladson Brew.
Yeah.
And I'm just here sitting here. I'm at home, broke.
You're eating your kaunga.
Eating my kaunga and my invanje. I'm just there, broke. We have to understand, and something that is going to start from us, because it's not easy to change the generation that came before us. So I think it's something that we have to start from us, because we are maybe the next, the parents.
Yeah. Some of us, they have kids already.
Most of us.
Hello, welcome back to Gen M Space, a safe space where we talk about things that your hustle won't let you really admit out loud. And today's episode is very exciting, and we have a guest. It's for millennials and all other adults, really, who is trying to make it out in life, who is juggling 5 gigs, opening Canva at midnight, and you break down at some point, and it's okay. And today we're gonna talk about work, hustle, burnout, and the effect of all of this on our mental health. Today we have a very good friend of mine, Denise. Hello, Denise.
Hello.
Welcome to Gen M Space.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here. Okay, my name is Denise Ineza. I am a medical doctor, currently specializing in psychiatry, a millennial as well, struggling with life, trying to make it.
Yeah, we're all struggling to make it out life.
Yeah.
Well, Denise, what is the fun fact about you? What gives you up when you are in a group of friends and they say, hey, that's a millennial? What is that characteristic that people notice?
Well, it's a little bit tricky, because I look younger than my age. So at first glance, people will think I'm a Gen Z because, I look younger. But when we try to have a conversation, because of the language, the Gen Z have a different way to speak than us. They are the slangs. We start saying, the period. There's some, all those slangs. So when I'm in a group of people and I start talking to a person, they will say maybe I'm a millennial according to the way I talk first, because millennials have their way of talking, which is different from other generations. So I'll say by the way I talk mostly.
Do you know anywho? What does that mean? Anywho.
Anyhow.
About first of all, the success, how we define success, and if really success also means, if the definition of success, the way we define success is relevant even in 2025. Denise, in your perspective, what is success to you? What does it mean?
Well, success can mean different, people can define it in many different ways according to the individual aspect, the culture aspect, or even the community aspects. But for me, I would define it in a little bit different way. I see success as a process more than a destination, as a journey rather than the big day, the graduation day, the marriage day, or that time you reach the summit of a mountain. That's not success for me. So for me, I think success is every time you fix a goal and you achieve it. That's success. Being it a small goal, a big goal, a short-term goal, a long-term goal. For example, if you set that you are going to exercise 5 minutes today, and you do it, that's success. The success is not going to be you losing 10 kg after a certain period of day. That's going to come as a result. But success, that time you set 10 minutes of exercise per day and you actually do it, that is success to me. And I see it more than that, fixing a goal and achieving it. And it's even explained scientifically. If you maybe go in science, every time we fix ourselves, we say we are going to do something, we fix ourselves a goal and we achieve it, the feeling good neurotransmitters that are released by the brain, the dopamine. Dopamine is this feeling good neurotransmitter. And every time you fix yourself a goal, you achieve it, it is released. You feel good, you feel motivated, you keep going every time. But here where comes the mismatch. When you don't have goal, you not know if you have succeeded. Either you are doing great, you're not doing great. You always feel like you're not succeeding because you've not set goals. Or when you are maybe comparing yourself to other people, like you're measuring your success, not your goals, but to what someone else has achieved.
Achievements.
In that case, you are not going to feel like you have succeeded.
You will not have the dopamine, the feel-good substance in your body.
You're not going to feel like you are succeeding, even though you are doing great in life, but you will not feel like you're succeeding. So yeah, I would say like that. It's more of an individual. Something which is individual is subjective, but still measurable. You can measure it through the way you feel. Like you've done something, you've achieved what you wanted to do, and you feel good about it. It can be measured about like what maybe someone you have helped, you have influenced, or in terms of even money, you can say, "Oh, I've made this amount of money," in terms of numbers. That's basically how I would say success. I would define success as me.
Okay, so I have few things that in our society in Rwanda, for example, young people, when they achieve these things, they say they have succeeded. Or if they see someone who hasn't achieved any of these things, they say, nah, chariyo. Okay, let's say, is building your own house before marriage, like as a guy, before getting married, you build your house. Is that a success?
Well, I'm not going to say it's a success or not. It's still going to depend on what is your goal. Was that your goal? Did you achieve it because it was your goal? Well, if it was your goal in life, you have set a goal. Maybe I'm going to build a house before this age or before I get married. That is going to be success for sure. But I also think if you don't have it, it's failure. No, it's not. It is not failure. And if you also have it, it's not like you have everything. It might not even be success, even when you have it, depending on what were your goals. And it always depend on what you are starting from, where you are starting from. For example, if you are making a big money, you have maybe a good job, or maybe the heritage, something that is going to help you build that house in a certain amount of time, and you build it. You had somewhere to start from, and then you build the house. So I think it depends on a lot of things. What you are starting from, what were your goals in life, and yeah, mostly your goal. If it was your goal, if it is not a must.
Yeah.
If it was a goal and you achieved it, so we're actually going to define it as.
If I understand quite well, it means that it's not successful. It's not a measure of success.
It's not
for
a measure.
Guy.
It is not a measure of success. Yeah, that's when I
It's very subjective, depending on the individuals.
It is subjective, but it's not a measure of success, as for a person in general. If you have not achieved it, it's not failure.
Again, here we are in the context of in Rwanda. Getting married for a girl before they turn 25.
Well,
and the guy before they turn 30.
Well,
or at 30. Is that a success in our society? Like, is that person really successful?
Well, that is personally, I think that's not even a measure of success. How is getting married a measure of success? Well, okay, it can be depending on the person still, because I'm still focusing on it being subjective, success being subjective. But getting married, well, I would say maybe if I would understand it if maybe you have had you've invested into a relationship. I've invested into this relationship, we turned out well, and we end up getting married. Yeah, maybe I can understand, but it's not a measure of success to everyone. And even more for I'm going to focus more on girls, because that's what we are expected. That's what society, especially the Rwandan society, or Africa society in general, that's why we are expected to. We are expected to get married. Like, if maybe you have graduated from school, what's next? Getting married, have kids. That is what they expect. They expect from us, from girls in general. But that's not. I think it's not a measure of success. It's not a measure of success. It can be depending on someone's values, someone's the way they have grown up, the goals they have set to themselves, but generally, no.
Coming back to being subjective as well. Also, like the millennials, this is a space for millennials, definitely, we are definitely, both of us, we are at the very end of our Gen M, our millennial generation, at the very edge of it, in 90s. But you can understand now we are in our 30s, and the previous generation, they're in their 40s. The previous part of our generation is in their 40s. So someone who's a millennial now and is not, doesn't have a house, doesn't own a house, who is not married, who doesn't have a car, we're talking about, like, here in Rwanda, doesn't have a car, doesn't have a spouse, doesn't have kids, doesn't have land, UPI.
Wow.
It's not even about the house only, the UPI.
Yeah.
Ubutaka, Chibanza. Is that person a failure? If you don't have all of these things, like, you are not successful. What? Wow. What is your opinion? Someone who doesn't have any of that we mentioned.
Well, I'm still coming back to the individualized success. I'm not going to say they have failed, but also I'm not going to say they have succeeded. Let's say, for example, it always come back to how the goal you have set yourself. If you have set your goals, maybe you had maybe a good job, good money, and you didn't invest it maybe in buying a land.
Mm-hmm.
You had the opportunity, you had the means, but you used it in maybe you didn't use the means you have to do something productive, something you wanted to do.
They have used the money for something else, to pay school fees for their siblings.
Yes, it can be. It can be maybe they have built something else bigger than just material things. Maybe they have invested in their education. Mm-hmm. Maybe they have traveled and they have had the experience they wanted. Maybe they have connection. They have people around them. That's also success.
And they are healthy.
Yeah. Maybe they have done good in other aspects of life, because actually these are the things that our society measures success. When they want to measure success, they will say, "Oh, I've achieved this." They have
material things.
Yes, the material things, but there are other things we don't look up to, and they're very important. Maybe they have a good career. They have invested in the career. We have to look in all those aspects, not just
the marriage, the car, the chibanza, and the kids.
Not that, because everyone have their priorities, the things they want to achieve. So if you have used well your time and you have invested in other things other than that, and not forgetting that life is tough nowadays. You might also not have achieved them because life is tough, and you would have loved having those things, but you have not achieved them.
Circumstance
because of this. Because of the circumstance. The circumstances didn't allow it.
Right.
But it's not the end of the world. You don't have to achieve it by a certain age. You can keep pushing. If you are not achieved it by 20, you can achieve it by 25, by 30, by 40. Even you see people starting their first business at 50, at 60. It's still possible. There's no deadline.
As long as there is something that you want, you can pursue it at any age. So there is no age limit, really.
Yes, there's no.
What we're saying here.
Yes.
Now that we've talked about success, there is another. So in our topic, we're gonna talk about also the burnout. So burnout, it's a common word people use here now and then, but what does really a burnout mean, clinically speaking? And what is the difference between just having a burnout or feeling tired after a long, stressful day? What is the difference between that and the burnout?
Yeah, that's quite an interesting thing to talk about. Burnout, the word burnout was first introduced in the 1970s by an American psychologist, Herbert Freudenberg. He defined it as a state of emotional, mental, and physical exhaustion. And later, with the research, it has been recognized as a mental, if I would say a mental disorder or a psychological syndrome. And it's currently in the ICD-11. The ICD-11 is the International Classification of Disease.
Okay.
So in the ICD-11 is more related to the professional burnout. We refer it more as the occupational burnout because of
occupational burnout.
Work
That's
related.
the specific term.
Not the specific, but when we say burnout, it's more related to occupational
Okay.
burnout, the prolonged stress response due to like you fail to regulate the stress you meet with in your workplace, and then you end up having the burnout.
Okay.
So the burnout, there are many signs you can have, you can feel when you are burnt out, and they can be emotional, they can be physical, they can be mental, and even behavior in the way you behave. Emotional, you feel drained. You feel very, very drained. Even after you can, I'm telling you, you'll be resting for the whole weekend, and on Monday you will feel like, oh my God,
I don't want to go.
I don't want to wake up. Yeah, you'll be very, very exhausted, very drained, and also physically still the fatigue. You'll be very tired. Even after sleeping for the whole day, you'll be very tired. And something also I have to mention emotionally, someone is burned out, they get irritated very easily. This is the person we see in the workplace. This person, you ask them a very simple question and they'll be there, they'll
be snapping.
They will respond to you in a very inappropriate way. They will get angry very easily. That's also a sign of burnout, and we see it mostly. I'm in health sector. It's very common. That's what they always tell us. Oh, like, why do you talk to the client?
The patient.
Yes, to the patient. You're very mean. Like most of the people in the health sector, they say you are very mean. But that's a sign of burnout, because someone might be working for a long shift. They're very tired, and then when you ask them a very small question, they'll answer you in a very mean way. Yeah, that's also a sign of burnout. And the other sign that there will be a dissociation. You feel like you're not connected. You are here, but you're not here. That dissociation, you are detached from the real world. You just stand here, you work what you're supposed to do, but you're not attached to it in terms of emotions, in terms of being there, as in real time. And also another thing is not feeling you were working, but you feel like you have not accomplished anything. You've not accomplished, like you were doing a great job, but I feel like
busy.
I'm not doing anything. I'm not accomplishing anything. So yeah, that's I would say some of the signs. And you ask to differentiate it between the normal,
just being tired after a long day.
When you're tired, you take a rest, and then the next day you are refreshed. You keep going. But the burnout is different, because even if you sleep, you wake up still feeling exhausted, still feeling that drained. Yeah. Have you ever experienced something like that?
Of course. Of course. I remember the job that I was doing. I loved my job, really. But after a period of time not having rest, because we were opening this place, and after a few months of opening, because of a lot of things I had to do by myself, a lot of responsibilities, and first time responsibilities maybe as well. I really felt like I didn't want to be there anymore, and I ended up quitting my job because of the burnout.
You did quit?
I did.
That was
extreme measure.
That was so brave of you. That was so brave of you, because many people they can't quit. Like it's a very difficult decision.
Yeah, it is a very difficult decision.
Decide that you're going to quit the job.
Yeah, because the space for me to express how I feel or what can be done wasn't really present at the moment. It was tough to come to that. Like I didn't have that space where I can say what is difficult for me and how it can be changed. It was hard. You're always like you're expected to deliver. Like you have to deliver. You have this job. It feels like they are giving you. You are in a place of privilege anyway. Like they're like you have this job. Many people they want this. And you cannot complain. So that was the reason why. At the end of the day, I was like, no, I can't continue like this.
That's actually the issue, because you'll be in that place where you don't feel like being there, but you also feel guilty of having that feeling. You're like, oh, I have a job. Most people, they don't have a job, and why would I complain? Why? I should not complain. And it becomes very it kills. It really kills silently. And the bad thing about that is the burnout is it's just going to be, I'll say, complicated in other mental health conditions like depression. Like you always come with that. Like people might end up being depressed. They might end up maybe having the anxiety. The anxiety can lead to burnout, but also the other way around.
The burnout can cause the anxiety and depression.
You might end
later
up having that anxiety. And you said that you felt burned out because of the workload and the expectations, the high expectations. And that is some of the causes actually. And there are very many other causes, because there are even people who are burned out without the high workload. Maybe because they are working in a toxic environment. That also can lead to burnout. If you're in an environment which is toxic, like your boss is not, they are not treating you well. You don't know exactly what are your responsibilities here. This time you're here, then the next time you are there. Like you don't know what you're expected to do. In that time also you end up feeling burned out. Or maybe if you are working, you are doing something you don't like. It's also can cause burnout.
That's deep. And now actually touching on the subject of people having burnout and don't recognize that they're burned out, and also not acknowledging and not having the space to talk about it. My question is, what are the factors in Rwanda to make it contextually relevant? In Rwanda, what are the cultural factors that make young people, make it, what makes it harder to talk about or even acknowledge that they are going through the burnout? What are those factors, culturally or socially, in Rwanda?
Yes, I think we have mentioned some of the factors. One being that the rate of unemployment is high in Rwanda. So when you have a job, there's no excuse. You will not be saying, oh, that is not what I want. That's not, there's a lot to do, or the workplace is toxic. That's not going to be an excuse. So most people, they fear to speak up or to even recognize that because of this guilt. Also, something else is the job is paying you. If you quit, what else are you going to do? So there's also that, because the
fear of losing the income.
The fear of losing the income is the economic side. Like you don't have anywhere else to get the income, and also culture-wise, there's the pressure from families, like you're expected to perform well at work. You have work. You'll not be saying no. It's not even just about the burnout. Even the mental health in general.
Mm-hmm.
The mental health is something we don't talk about. We are not open to talk about the feelings you have, the emotion you have, to be vulnerable. Mm-hmm. And say, oh my God, this job sucks. This job is making me losing it. We don't have spaces to be able to express ourselves in that way.
Yes.
So it's like we are somehow in a cage where we have to hold our breath and just work and don't complain.
Don't complain.
Don't complain.
It feels like you're complaining when you have everything. Like,
yes, like it's like, oh, you have a job and you're complaining.
So for people who have jobs, it's like a privilege. So it's like you're privileged.
Yeah.
And now that you're complaining, it's inexcusable.
Yeah.
Almost like inexcusable.
Yeah, I think it's something.
You're in place of privilege, and why are you complaining?
Yes, I think it's something I've personally experienced. Mm-hmm. When I was doing my internship, I was at some point to feel so drained. I feel like, oh my God, I'm so tired.
Mm-hmm.
But
if you want to get out of
you feel this drain. You feel drained, but at some point, but me, at least I have this.
The placement, you've got to the placement for internship.
At least I'm in this internship. I'm going to be a doctor soon, so I don't have to complain. Like, there's no complaining. So that's something that what causes most of the people not to talk about it.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Tough for all the millennials out there.
Yes,
hang in there.
It's really tough. Another thing is going back to the causes. Mm-hmm. We are not, as millennials specifically, we're not given what it takes to survive in this work or in this period of time, because when we were studying, we were being focused on the sciences. You were performing well in mathematics, you do in chemistry, the grades, Mm-hmm. But there's something we were not given. We're not given other skills, the soft skills. We were not given the way. We were not told that to survive out here, you have to be a good communicator. Mm. We were not given that. Like most people, it's something we didn't have the chance to learn.
To be trained.
To
recognize this is gonna be very important in the workplace.
Yes, that or networking. Networking was not something we were taught about, and that's something that will really help you to survive out there. And also something like maybe the computer skills. Nowadays, technology leads. And growing up as millennials, for people who went to normal schools, some of them we would study computer science, but we were not using. There were no computers. It's on the teacher will go on the board and write, "This is how you open a computer. This is how you do this and that."
No typing. Like they give you like you're supposed to deliver a document, a big document in just like 2 days, and your typing is just like
and just
like you're gonna type
you're
it
not
like
trained for that.
Night.
That's the thing.
You're not gonna sleep until you've done typing.
Yes, the way we raised this, we were not trained that way. Even the language skills, going back to communication, we were required to be good at that, doing good presentations, and all that. But still, we are struggling.
But thanks to AI, to ChatGPT now,
wow.
you don't have to type.
Yeah, AI AI is here now, but also something another subject.
It's another conversation.
Another conversation for another day. Yeah, for sure.
We've talked about the factors that make people not really acknowledge the burnout they're going through. But what are the practical solutions, like practical, coping mechanisms that are really healthy, that can help a young person who is going through the burnout, who is emotionally exhausted, to step back, like to take their life back, to regain their life back, really? Because as you talked about the burnout, it goes all the way to the point where you can be depressed, really, where you can go really like in a dark place. You can end up in a dark place. What are the steps that someone who is now recognizing that they have burnout, what are the steps they can take to regain their life back?
To cope up with the burnout, there are many aspects involved. There's first you as a person, what you can do to deal with the burnout. There's first having to rest, have rest, sleep.
Like a physical rest, like
yes, really physical rest. Sleep for 8 hours. Sleep. Have enough rest. That's the first thing. And the second thing is having days where you just you don't think about your work. Maybe if you have hobbies, if you like to exercise, you go out to exercise. If you like to swim, if you like to, and also nature. I personally recommend nature because nature has this way of regulating people's emotions. So I do really recommend to go to be out. Yeah, that's something. Going out in nature and be there and just sit there and breathe. Do not think about work or the stresses of life and
just
everything.
Look at the trees, look at the birds.
Be present.
Being present in nature.
Yes, that's also something we will call mindfulness. Like you just sit here, you are here, not in the future, not in the past. You're just here. Yes, you just sit here. You watch. You breathe, and that's it. Something else you can do is to organize yourself in your work. If it's a work where you have that space where you can organize yourself and say, I'm going to do this in the morning. Maybe have priorities, the important task in the morning, and do some other task in the evening, in the afternoon. That can also help. Organizing yourself. It can really help. Also, having a healthy relationship with your coworkers. Where you will not just there. There's this I would say bad habit at work where you maybe be there. Maybe gossiping about other coworkers.
Something that will backfire, something bad in the future.
Yes. So that I would recommend having a healthy relationship with the people at work, helping each other when possible. If someone has something that they are doing and you can help them to do it, you can help, and maybe they will help you the next time. Having that good, being supportive at work. And still talking about that, there's also the employers.
Yeah, the bosses. The employers.
They are required. Yes, they are required to be gentle, to have good leadership skills, and help their coworkers not to to be overwhelmed, you know. And for the owners of the organizations, they have to prioritize mental health, you know. If someone is not in a good space mentally, they have to be helped. Some organizations even have the psychologist, where when someone is struggling, they can talk to their psychologist. Or some, they can even help them, pay them a therapist. And there's a lot that can be done, but it has to be a collaboration between the individual, their work, their employers, and the families, the communities we live in. They have to be gentle on people, especially young people who are trying to make it
easy on expectations, right?
Yes, very easy on expectations.
So the mamas there to papas there.
Yeah, they should not expect
that. We're doing the best we can. All right, Denise, there is another thing that I want us to talk about, the culture of comparing ourselves to our peers. As millennials, one of the characteristics of the millennials is this generation of people who are really, they have high expectations of success for themselves and for their families. So there is a pressure to succeed for this generation, especially. Like when we grew up, like I wanted to be a doctor. Also, my mom wanted me to be a doctor, but never got the marks to be a doctor, to be in a medical school. Ended up being a biologist. But so there is this pressure, and what can you say about like comparing ourselves to the ones we think they have made it, and now comparing to them because we are the same age, we went to the same school, we were the same promotion, you know, and what does that do to our mental health, really?
Well, that's really a very dangerous thing. That is like a pandemic nowadays. Yeah. So comparison, I would go back to the definition I gave of success. And when we start measuring our success to someone else's, it's where we are not, where the mismatch is. Because you don't know what someone's goals are. You don't know what they have. You don't know where they started
from. The
resources, yeah. So comparing yourself to others is really not a thing to do. You can learn from others. You can get inspired from others.
Definitely.
Yes, but do never compare yourself with someone else. I would say, you know, with this era of social media, it's something which is very common, and comparing. And the funny thing is, we are comparing to the social media image, not even
the real person.
I know, not even the real person, the social media image, and they show us, the social media show us people on social media, even you on social media. If you're going to post a picture, you're going to post
the best of the best.
A good
you have
picture.
To. It's the term they use is a curated life, yeah. A curated photo, a curated outfit.
I know.
The perfect. That's the most perfect picture you can get.
Let's say, for example, today a friend of yours invites you to Radisson Brew to have dinner with them. They are the one who are going to pay, not you. You arrive there and you sit and you are really having a very nice lunch at a 5-star hotel, and you take a picture, you post it, and taking lunch at Radisson Brew.
Yeah.
And I'm just here, sitting here. I'm at home, broke.
You're eating your kaunga.
Eating my kaunga and my invanje. I'm just there, broke. And I'm opening my Instagram, and the first thing I see is, the way it's at Radisson. It's having lunch at Radisson Blue. Wow, but I know this guy.
Like, we went to school. We were in the same class. What happened to me?
He's having, and that's where the pressure comes. And I'm still being pressured to maybe be the person who will be, going to expensive hotels, and I'm not even taking the fact that maybe you didn't pay for it. Yeah.
And it's a one-day thing.
So you see, I'm just trying to show how comparing yourself to someone else it's not a measure of success. For real. That is why we should go, like, do an introspection, look at as what we are, what we have, what our resources, what are our values, what do we really want in life, and then from that we set goals. The goals we can achieve based on whatever resources we have, and then we work towards that, and then when we achieve it, then we will feel happy without having to compare ourselves to those people. Because if we when we compare ourselves, we don't even see how great we're doing in life. Yeah,
we don't even take the time to appreciate our accomplishments.
That's true.
So, but I always wonder if there is maybe a cultural thing where, like, it pushes us, like in Rwanda, to put it in context, to, like, our generation, to see our peers and compare ourselves to them more. Like, is there like a cultural thing, because maybe we are not individualistic society, we are somehow like, it's a village thing, it's like it's a promotional thing, it's like we went to the same school, we feel like we are supposed to end up in the same place, and we end up having kids at the same time, we end up getting married, or like all these social milestones people they set. Do you think there is something culturally that is maybe doing us disadvantage in that regard?
Yes, I do think culture has something to do with it, because we are like, we live in a society where everyone knows, we know this person, like this family knows this family.
And they're very collective.
Yes, it's a small country, everyone knows, we know each other, and at some point we expect also to turn out in the same way, like to have the same, like we would expect to that, like the way we view success is the same. If I would say the way we grew up and the way we were conditioned to view success, it's the same. So the same thing we have said before, the building a house, marriage, buying a car, those same stuff. That's like the measure of success. If someone achieved that, they have succeeded. If you have not achieved that, you have not succeeded.
You have not made it in life.
Yes, you have not made it in life, and people will start to think you're a failure and all that. So I'll say that yes, culture has something to do with it,
and we have to change it. That's something, like, I always believe, the culture is a set of all these rules and all these kind of conceptions, but we have to pick what is good, what is working for us, and reject really, like, those that are doing us disservice, that are making us pressured and depressed and feeling like crap when we have our lives really going, and we should appreciate what we have achieved so far.
Yeah, it's something that needs to change, and this is why we are having such conversations. And it's something that really has to, really have to change it. We have to understand, and something that is going to start from us, because it's not easy to change the generation that came before us. So I think it's something that we have to start from us, because we are maybe the next, the parents.
Yeah. That some of us, they have kids already.
Most of us, they do.
Most of us have kids down there.
Yes, they do have kids, and yes. So we are going to, as this, the new generations that are coming, it's something we should understand. We have to be more aware, more talk more about what really matters in life, the mental health, how is really affected by those pressure that we are that they put to us.
Unnecessary pressure, by the way.
Yes, unnecessary pressure. So it's we really need to keep talking about it, and by day by day, it's going to change.
Have you seen the video of a reporter? Do they call it even the YouTuber? Have you seen the video of a YouTuber who was asking the musician King James? Was asking them, who was asking him, you have the money, you have everything. When are you getting married? Until this time, they're still asking King James, when are you getting married?
I didn't see the video, but it's something that like they asked to everyone who is around this his age.
And probably you, they ask some of the
and me, and me, they even if you are a guy, it's even worse. So they something that they ask you, and
he ended up making a song like probably last year or a couple of years. I'm not getting married. Like, there is a whole song he composed due to the pressure of society, pressuring him to get married. He made a song. Nenda kurongora kuko bivuze.
I know the song. At least he monetized.
Monetized on that.
He did monetize that, so that's very good of him. So this question, we also have to stop asking those questions. Yeah, like when are you getting married? When are you having kids? Those questions. If it's not maybe your close friends or someone who are in the position to ask, it's none of your business.
None of your business.
None of your business. And you have to understand that people they have different goals, different journeys. As long as they are doing good, as long as they're happy, it's fine.
So my final question is, do you think our self-worth should be defined by the type of work we do, the career? Should be really defined, should be tied to our productivity or the career, our self-worth and productivity? How can we, this relationship, are they like, should we treat them as separate things, or there is a way of connecting these two things? In regard to like what we have been talking about, really, about the burnout and everything.
Yes, that is where the issue is. When we like align our self-worth with our success, or with like our productivity, that is where people start having those mental health issues, the burnout, they even end up being depressed, because maybe you might even not end up achieve all those things. And when you have not achieved them, you start feeling like you are worthless, like oh my god, I don't need anything, I have not achieved this thing, so I'm going to, I'm nothing. That's what most people think, like I'm nothing. But that's not true. Our self-worth is not through our productivity. It's not defined defined by our productivity. I think we should focus more on who we are. We should ask ourselves, who am I?
That's the question.
That's the question. Who am I as a person? And when you ask yourself that question, you say, so me as Denise, am I am I a medical doctor? Yes, I am. But if you take that away from me,
who am I?
I'm not. That is why I don't like most people call me Dr. Denise. Dr. Denise. Because my self-worth, most people can think like my self-worth is going to be defined because I'm a doctor, but that's not true. I'm many things. There's a very different aspect of me as a person, not just one thing. So yeah, if I only define myself as one thing, that is going to if I would say it's going to make me feel down, or to make me feel worthless, because I have not achieved a certain thing. I have not achieved this success that the society has put there for me to achieve. So yeah, I think we should not define ourselves according to our productivity
and what we do in the careers. I haven't really succeeded doing that, where we can have a conversation with my friend, family, without asking them like about going into work a lot, but about you, like how are you, Denise? How are you feeling? Like without asking you about without defining you in terms of work. The first thing I do, like, hey,
what do you do? I know that's what you mostly do. That's what you do. Like, you meet a person, you start asking them about. But what if they don't have that work? What are you going to ask them?
And now that the robots and the AI are going to take away most of the jobs,
yes,
who are we going to stay?
So yeah, I think we should go back to,
without your career, who are you? Ask yourself that question if you're watching.
Yes, that's the thing. Who are you? Who are you? That's the question. That's the question we should all ask ourselves. Who are we?
Really? Denise, thank you so much. It was a wonderful conversation. We love to have you back. We would like to have you back on another conversation. We'll talk about different things. Mental health is a big subject. So we would like to invite you next time.
Thank you so much.
Another time, yes.
Thank you so much for having me.
And thanks to our producer, camera person.
Camera woman.
Camera person. That's a wrap. Gen M space. Bye. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.